Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of our Footy Fantasy Pod. Today we have a Chelsea man, always popular guest, always here. Idris, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And we have to bring back the noisemaker from North London, and he's going to come back again next week. He doesn't know that yet, but he's coming back next week for the North London Derby.
Top of the league, baby.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for joining. This episode should be fun. For sure, due to what happened, we lost the legend of the game. We'll talk briefly about Maradona, what our most memorable moment for Maradona is. We'll review the Chelsea game quickly, talk about high points for both of their teams. It was kind of a top of the table clash. Then we'll give our weekly awards, which will be, as we always call it, kudos for the week and egg on the face or donkey of the week. Uh, since Chelsea was the host, we'll go to Idris quickly. Hey, Maradona. Yeah, so we've tried like to say good, what's your most memorable moment to the legend Maradona? His legacy lives on, by the way.
Yeah, my most memorable moment of Maradona, and it's kind of a sad loss actually, because I've been watching a lot of his clips again. It has to be US '94, when I watched him against Nigeria, and also I believe he was against trying to remember, was it Greece or so that he scored that wonderful goal. For me, it was the build up to '94 because of the noise of that number 10, like blue and white stripes. It's just number 10. It was just the beauty of knowing somebody that's short, that stocky, can carry a whole team on his own. So the whole thing of you got to be a tall guy, you got to be 6 foot, like you got to be towering or powerful. He just like turned everything on its head, and watching him against Nigeria was just like I actually watched Maradona live. That's something I can say I saw. I mean, after that, he left after 2 years after that, right? But sharing the moment with my uncle, who is a diehard Maradona fan, and explaining what he meant to Argentina, the hand of God, the poetic word of the hand of God, and the game in England is such a beautiful memory of Maradona. That's what I remember of him
Okay,
as a
that's
kid.
true. Before we go to Oh No, let me tell you guys where you can find us. I forgot to do. You have to do a quick admin. You can find us Facebook, Extraordinary Footy Fans. This podcast will be on YouTube at Footy Fantasy. You can find us Instagram, Fantasy Footy. If you like podcasts, it's called the Footy Fantasy Podcast. All the addresses will be at the end of the pod. Just scroll to the end. You see all the exact addresses for anywhere you want to interact with us. Coach Stephen, what's your most memorable moment of Maradona?
Memorable moment, man. It's actually interesting hearing Idris. I would say that my first time hearing about him, watching him, was the '94 World Cup, and that's also my first memory of football too. Like watching that World Cup with my brothers, my dad, my uncles, everybody around the house. But I wasn't impressed with Maradona at that World Cup. Like I remember being young and everybody's like Diego Maradona in Nigeria, and watching him against our boys, Uche Okechukwu then, Olise, everybody. And I remember distinctly just feeling like, what's this guy doing? I wasn't impressed really, to be honest. My memorable time seeing him is because after that match, I went and started watching all the videos. I saw the hand of God after that World Cup. So seeing him again coaching the Argentine team at the World Cup, I think
Mm.
2000, was that 2014?
Six.
About
No, 10. I think it was 10. It was the coach.
2010, yeah.
2010.
It was the one in Africa, right?
Correct. South Africa. Yeah.
Coaching Messi and coaching, and the passion that he brought to it after I had watched all his videos and seen what he'd done and the drugs and the everything that he was, like greatness, mafia links, everything. Like seeing him in person and him just, because I feel like I love soccer the same way he loves soccer. Like it's my. I could just see him, like the blood is just pumping. I love this game, and he was so proud to coach his country. I love that moment watching him coach. And if you remember, he was doing crazy things coaching. He was playing Aguero Ronaldo, Di Maria, Messi, all, like 5 attackers at one time because he just wanted to attack. And I just loved like the passion that came through for attacking, the passion for attacking. You could see it in his game, you could see it in the coaching. And I that was my memorable time. I love that.
Okay. I would say that's good. That's a good one. Mine actually goes back as far back as 1990 World Cup. That was the first tournament I remember watching fully from beginning to the end. I watched parts and parcels of Euro 88. But even at the 1990 World Cup, I was a young kid, but I've been watching football for so long. Even as a kid with my dad and my dad's friend. And the most memorable was the game they played with Brazil. And just before, so 1990 World Cup, obviously Nigeria didn't make it to World Cup. So this was our MO in our house then, was support an African team, number one, and support Brazil. So I supported Brazil by default in every tournament. I supported Cameroon for sure. And Cameroon at that time, they were still in the tournament, but the next team I was supporting was Brazil. Carreca, I think Zico was on his last legs. You know, they just had some guys that played 1990 World Cup. They were there. And I remember watching that game. Brazil had all the possession, but these guys having like 2 or 3 chances. And Maradona, they had everything. And I remember the goal was Maradona to Canija, the same Canija that beat us in the 94 World Cup. Maradona again was not clear. If you go and reward that 94, I think 1 or 2 of the goals, either one or both goals, was Maradona that made the key pass. So he was created the ass, and that ball split the Brazil. That was like, I think that was the first time I had like knife through butter. He split the Brazil first open to Canija. So I was just like, so that was my most memorable moment. And funny enough, I didn't really like him at the time. I was like, this guy, he's always the one at the key moment. But it's after the fact, I now went back, you know, and this after 1990 World Cup. I talked to my dad, and my dad was like, oh, this guy, and I started going back to start looking at tapes, you know, from the Napoli wins. I'm like, oh, this guy is something special. So yeah, you know, his legacy lives on. Maradona, RIP, you know, him and his family, wish them all the strength. He was a great, one of the greatest football legends of all time. So now we segue into the London Derby. You know, I think it's the second meanest derby, or most derby with the biggest rival apart from London. You know, Chelsea, Tottenham. We go
with London Derby. I prefer the Chelsea Derby. I feel like it always has more quality and more bite. So even though they say that Arsenal are rivals like North London, Chelsea Derby always feels like there's more to lose every time we play. I love it.
Okay, because since you started, dive into it. Since you started, how did you see that game?
Tough game. But I'm mad at Chelsea for letting Liverpool catch up with us. I'm mad that we didn't take our chances or win like we were supposed to today. Like this season, Chelsea knows their level. They should know their level at least, right, Idris?
Oh no! I'm surprised. Odo is like you guys are holding us back. I'm like, no, we have history of winning, so you are holding us back. So I don't know why Odo is claiming entitlement on the title race. But here's the thing, as Ono said, it was a very interesting game for those that actually watch soccer, not just for the goals or the highlights, right? Like Mourinho masterclass, he goes, he nullifies any team. It's almost like defensive boxing. He just nullifies you, right? And he tries to catch you on the counter. And it's usually ruthless counters. Like it's do not give his team as much space because they played really well today.
Oh, you're back.
And he played really well today, and I have to say that this Tottenham team is legit title contenders because of not just the mentality and the quality they have up front, but they finally all bought in to that Mourinho's toxic way of fighting for every little thing possible on the field, and I would say I'm impressed. But I also say I was so proud of how Chelsea played today. Although I was disappointed that we should have won this game. But I was very proud that, wow, we've really come a long way from conceding every second set piece to actually literally controlling the game. So that was and segue back to Ono, because you were saying something there before you went up.
bad, guys. So yeah, I was saying that we were disappointed not to win. Now Liverpool's caught up with us. We really wanted to win this game, and we came in, it seems, with the same strategy as against Man City. So we know that Chelsea is very good, has a lot of attacking talent. So we wanted to sit back a little, soak it up, attack on the counter. But we weren't as clinical today, weren't as good. And that's, I mean, it's a balance. It's probably up to the attackers. And also, I'll give Chelsea credit for the way they defended. I knew it was going to be more difficult with a team with Kovacic and Conte, of course, because Conte didn't give Kane the space in the middle. If you noticed, every time Kane dropped near the middle to receive that ball, Conte was on him like white on rice, man. Like Conte, there was one moment where it was Conte and Kovacic together. And Kane actually got a skill and got through them, but he got fouled. But just the quickness which they got him was impressive. So two things I'd say about the game though is one, Mourinho made a big gamble in playing Rodon. Rodon's our new boy. He's the Welsh Maldini, as we call him. He's good, he's promising, but I didn't think he could handle a game like today because we had Toby, our best defender, out, and the decision was, do we play Sanchez with Dyer or Rodon? We'll give Rodon a full debut, and he actually gave him a debut against Chelsea. So I was so happy to see Tammy Abraham missing all those chances, man, because it was, I mean, I was just watching. It was like a movie today. I would just see a ball fly. I'll see Tammy fly, and nobody would touch. Tammy and the ball just didn't want to. What was happening, Idris? What was actually going on?
I was having the discussion with I before this. We're talking about quality of certain players. Tammy's an amazing player, but if you notice this season, he's really changed the way he plays, right? And his hold up play is much better. His link up play is much better. He carries players along, which was something he didn't really do very well coming up through the ranks, right? Like he's always that run off the shoulder kind of guy that Timo Werner is right now. And everybody was like, oh, Timo Banks goes. Timo's ruthless in the box. But I will keep banging this on every Chelsea fan's ears. Timo Werner needs services constantly off the shoulder to run into the box. He's not the best to build up play with. He's just not. He hasn't given us anything to be excited about building up. Aside the last game against who did we play last game? Where he ran all the way from the middle and laid Tammy on. Aside that game, that's the only time he's done that. But again, Tammy, man, missing those headers today. If it was Olivier Giroud, for sure this game was 2-0. Easy. Yeah. But I think Tammy needs to grow into being able to let loose from a defender, nudge off a defender, stand his ground, and be able to head properly. Because, but he's growing. He's just growing. I can't bash the boy too much. He played a very good game today, but we should have beat Tottenham today. They should have just allowed us concede one and let go. But, they're fighting for something that is not theirs.
I totally agree. And I'll let you deal with that attacking for today. But I really think, honestly now, seriously, I think you guys missed a chance to capitalize on Rodon's debut. He's a new defender, it's a new partnership. You guys should have capitalized. And I do give credit to our setup for not letting that happen.
I also want to praise Mario.
The other two things I'll say is our midfield. I love our midfield three, as we were talking about. Mourinho's really figured it out. It's Højbjerg, Sissoko, and then Ndombele. I think Ndombele was great. I think we lost a little from Sissoko sitting too far back. Today, he was almost working as a center back. It was just too far back. So we lost a little from that. Even though people feel that Sissoko's not creative, he creates chances with his short passes just to release people. And then our forwards were not clinical. I mean, when I looked at the whole stats for the game, it was, even though Chelsea had more possession, it wasn't as much as Man City had. And you guys only had 3 shots on target. We had 1. So it wasn't such a huge difference in terms of real chances now. I'm not talking about Ziyech just blasting the ball from far.
Like that, that's a chance, but you're right, yeah.
Yeah, it was 3 shots on target to R1. But I think that we really should have punished y'all. So, but the one thing at the end, when Zuma made that pass, and misplaced that pass. It went to Lucas Moura, who just come on. I thought it was a great example of why Lucas doesn't start yet and the problem that we're having on our team. If we fix this, then we win the league. We're much better. Our forwards, they're great at getting in possession. They're clinical. They just don't take defenders on. Have you guys noticed? We don't do that. 1-to-1, when there's a chance, we always look for the link up for the pass. Lucas Moura got the ball from Zuma's bad pass. Who's in front of him? Thiago Silva. Apart from Jose Mourinho, there's nobody else on that whole pitch that's as slow as Thiago Silva. I promise you, even Lampard is faster than Thiago Silva. Lucas Moura looked at Thiago Silva, one touch, and he could be in the box. Just push it past Thiago and let Thiago chase you into the box. You're in the box, he'll bring you down, or he'll get the ball. It's a 50-50, right? And he passed it into Lo Celso under pressure. And I just thought, if Lucas changes this mindset, he starts on the team. He just doesn't have that confidence. And it's not just him. It's Bale, even it's Son. We don't take people on and beat people one-on-one.
The only person that does that, I think, your team.
We need that badly, man.
The only person I think that does that in your team, and correct me if I'm wrong, to some extent he does that, Lamela. Lamela is the only one I think I see that likes to take people on, cuts inside. He likes to do that. And I think you guys, I was surprised that either Lamela or Bale didn't come on in this game. But then again, I don't think Mario went for it. He didn't go for it.
I gotta say one thing though. You guys are talking about offensive players that would honestly come up. We will have created a scenario for Tottenham where I don't say they would be the weakest link, right? They would have created the opportunities that the likes of Timo Werner did not get today. They will have given running spaces for the likes of, if you look at Kovacic played a mad game today. He was running through the middle, and you're talking about powerful men in the middle. We're talking Sissoko, we're talking Ndombele, we're talking Højbjerg. It was a battle. Yeah. So if you play those forward-thinking guys, it's almost like chess. You're creating space behind the lines, right? So I can understand why he didn't bring those guys in. I completely understand. And the part that Ono was saying, learning at Thiago Silva, you're right. The guy is 36 and he's probably the oldest, but my goodness, his awareness level of being in the right place at the right time is divine. Yeah. It's unreal. His presence. He cuts out passes. He puts himself in a position that blocks your view on what to do next. And I think you cannot underestimate what a lot of teams meet when they're playing Zuma and Thiago Silva with N'Golo Kante sitting. It's just we have so many clean sheets for a reason. There's a reason. We are not exposing ourselves as we used to before. You understand? So
I agree, but Thiago, somebody like that, I agree with what you're saying. Even one-on-one, he's good. But his real strength is reading the game, positioning. When you catch that kind of guy one-on-one, bro, you take it. That's the only weakness he's gonna have. That's the only advantage you're gonna have on him is speed and that one-on-one. And who better than Lucas? He's the fastest on the team. So he missed a trick there. But even in that moment, if you go back, and I like the way you analyze the game, because if you go back, I rewound that moment so many times. If you watch Thiago Silva, once Lucas got that ball, right? I respect that boy, Thiago. He showed Lucas one way, then showed him
one way. Yeah. He just showed him one way, this is where I need you to go. Yeah. I don't think people realize how crazy that thing is. I remember.
I think a lot of people don't understand. I think a lot of people don't understand how massive Thiago Silva was for Milan. Thiago Silva had, I think, 7 or 8 seasons in Milan where he was flawless. I think after those 7 seasons or so, he was their player of the year for 4. Player of the year for Milan. And I think on 2 occasions it was Serie A player of the year. Thiago Silva was flawless when he was at his peak. He just moved, I think, too late, He moved to PSG.
No, the guy
moved PSG too late. He should have gone to a bigger. Well, at that time, Milan was a bigger club. I think he won Italian with them. He was there when the last one in 010, I think.
The Serie A,
He was young. He was young then. But I think let me ask you guys real quick. I don't know if I caught anybody else, but if I do, you can go back to your points. But who is your player of the match? Who's your man of the match? Idris.
I'm thinking right now. For me, I'm stuck between N'Golo Kante for me and Ndombele. So if you see on the Chelsea side, I have to go with Kante, and that's very close to Kovacic, like very close. I'll just say this was a battle of the mids. I don't think people appreciate what was going on in the midfield. It was a battle of the mids because with Mason Mount too, he did a lot of running around. So I will go Kante for me in the whole game. But also, if it's for me picking between Chelsea and for each team, I'll go in the Billy on Tottenham side, Kante on Chelsea side.
Oh no.
I'll just pick one. It's Conte. It's Conte. Without Conte, you don't nullify our strongest threat, which has been probably the strongest attacking threat of the whole league this season, which is
Yeah.
Kane hitting others, Kane dropping and being a quarterback. Conte nullified that completely. So I'll give it to him. I'll say Reece James. I was impressed. I was very impressed.
His crosses, yeah. Ooh.
Everybody's always impressed when they play Reece James, when they play Chelsea. It's always funny to me because it's like, by now you should know this kid is really good. But until they play Chelsea, they're like, oh, I'm impressed by Reece James. I'm like, that boy is a beast.
Yeah. So something I'll say quick is that I love. There were so many moments of the game that I loved today. I'll say two moments that I really loved, and it partly shows this mentality that we're talking about you know bad word, C word. You know what I'm saying about the Tottenham team. One was when Chilwell flies in on Ori, trying to hurt him, Idris, trying to hurt him, but he gets hurt instead. He rolled his ankle and got hurt. Guess what happened? It was so funny. The Chelsea team bring on like the stretcher and people to take care of him and all that. Guess what? My boys, Spurs boys, stole all the water from the cart and drank all the water. I was like, what's going on? Spurs drink all the water. Chilwell's there. He's dying for water. He's calling like, please, please, what? He had to beg Dyer. It was Dyer that gave him some water. I was dying laughing. I loved it, man. I loved every moment of us drinking all that water, man.
Warrior is giving
like
that team nastiness. He's giving
like
that
nastiness.
nastiness.
This has to be intentional because Rodon came, drank, Dyer drank, somebody else came and drank, and Chilwell's there like, like what the hell, bro? Anyway, second moment was Rodon made a couple mistakes today. The second one when he headed it back, a short header back to the goalie that gave Giroud a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing Sissoko come back and pat him on the back, encourage him. I love that moment, man, because I think there's room for, like we were talking in the intro, there's room for people yelling at you and telling you, the senior ones telling you what to do. And there's also room for teammates encouraging each other in the bad moment. Because right after Sissoko pat him on the back, there's Lloris there, like, Roda, you can see him yelling at Roda and chewing him out. Both are needed. And I love that we have both on the team. I just love that for our team today. But it was a great game, man. We weren't clinical, but you know.
You didn't really have many chances, to be honest.
Draw was a fair result, in my opinion. I think draw was a fair result.
I didn't think it was fair.
I think draw was a fair result. I think both teams did not at any point say, okay, this I'm going for, let me throw a kitchen sinker type thing. And I understand why they didn't do it. Because again, 1 point, the way this league is tight so far. We're now at the 10th game and everything is so tight. It's like 5 points between first and I think we're 8th now. United is 8th. I think it's 5 points between first and like 10th. It's kind of mirroring the pattern of how last season was, apart from the first two. Remember last season from 3 to like 15th was like all bunched up, but Liverpool and City were just separated from everybody. But instead now it's everybody all bunched up together. So it might take up until like the 20th point game, maybe halfway 6 points before that separation happens. I know you have a hard stop. So let me just run through. Let's run through. You might have thought, I think it was a fair point. Both teams will probably be in around title challenge. The title challenge, this is probably one of the seasons where we'll not be able to talk about title challenge until like January to see who the real title challengers are. I suspect. I also suspect injuries will be a key player this season. I suspect whoever has the healthy key players. Injuries will be a key part this season. Let's do round up with our weekly awards for the week. I'll start with Dr. Stephen, Coach Stephen. Who is your Who gets kudos for the week, for this week, in the football week so far?
For the whole week,
Yes.
across the teams.
Across Europe, across everywhere, across the world.
Wow, what a question. For I mean, I haven't followed every game day by day, but from the highlights I've seen, if I'm gonna give kudos at any point this season, I'm giving it to Ibrahimovic, Zlatan.
This week, not season. This week. Just for the week. Just it's a weekly award, just for the week. Yes.
Oh man.
From Sunday to now. If you're not ready, you can go to
kudos today.
Okay.
I'll give it to Conte then. I'll give it to Conte then. I'll give it to Conte then.
Okay.
Because I like what he did today. I don't know why people ever Conte. I think he behind Harry Kane and De Bruyne. So yeah, I'll give it to him.
Okay, give it to Conte. Idris.
For me, kudos of the week has to go to Ronaldo. Where he's like the goals he's banked in the Champions League, the goals he's banked even in Syria since he came back from COVID. And just last week, I'm sure he's going to score this weekend again, like at some point if we check it. Like for what he's doing, and I understand why Ono said Zlatan too, because what they've done in these last 2-3 weeks at their age, it just shows there's just levels to this stuff. Like you can train as hard as you can. We're gushing over Maradona right now for a reason. Because if you watch the VHS tape, CDs, whatever you were when you were young, of 86, Mexico 86, Italia 90, even 94, what he did in Naples for getting in the Scudetto, it's madness. Like there's a level to where these guys are reaching folktale status. Like it's almost like the Greek the Greek myths and legends that we hear about Thor, Hercules, Poseidon, and all. They're getting to that point where it's just like these guys are just gods of soccer, right? Like it's crazy. So for me, I gotta give Ronaldo this week. It's just at the age of what he's doing is madness. Sorry.
Egg on the face moment. Egg on the face. Donkey of the week. Who?
Arsenal. Anyhow, any day. From last week to this week, Arsenal. EJ no vessel, but God damn. I have a new emoji. I have a new GIF on Facebook.
I want to see EJ vex a little bit, man.
Oh, she's gonna cut this side out. There's no donkey of this week, bro. I just you bought the title. You don't have history. All that nonsense. That I'm like, Chiamara is going to baff a lot of people on Facebook this week. I have this, oh my God, like Arsenal's got to be done with it. I was trying to explain to somebody how poor, substandard Arsenal players are for what Arteta is trying to do. I don't think they get it. I don't. If you're in doubt that you're a mid-table team with mid-table players, the only good player on that team is Awoba. Now maybe that we gave them Willian and David Silva, so you can see those ones are elder statesmen. The remaining are trash. Kepa will make this team.
Okay, Olache, who's your own? That's an epic one. Who's your own?
What happened in the Wolves game? I didn't even see that game, man. Because
what is your own? Before we deviate too long, what's your own?
Okay, my donkey of the week is actually Jurgen Klopp. Because I don't know if you guys have seen it, his interview after their draw yesterday, I feel like he fell into a trap.
That's a good shot.
Where you take your aggression and you don't control it. And he fell into a trap and went into like a back and forth with the journalist and blaming the journalist about, hey, I think somebody got hurt. Milner got hurt. And he was saying, you caused that. Congratulations. There's no need to be passive aggressive or snipey with a journalist. Now, I'm on his side. I understand what he was saying. He was trying to say that the broadcasters are choosing these games, Saturday game after they play. But to go at a reporter and give him headlines and fall into the back and forth, that's something that media training would never let you do. You just give the reporter what he deserves, nothing.
Okay. Okay. So I'll say mine quickly and wrap up the show. My kudos for the week goes to El Matador. The guy
that was today, though.
Yeah, that's kudos for the week now. It's still week. Kudos for the week. He said El Matador. Exactly. He showed me what it is to be a classic number 9. I remember in January, I having an argument in my WhatsApp group, January of beginning of the year when we were going for plan, we were going for Igalo, and like Igalo is an underwhelming signing, and he did okay. He got goals. Like when Cavani is there, you go and get him. To be fair, when he got him this, I was like, okay, it felt like a panic buy with Sancho, but that guy is class. The 2 goals he scored today showed that classic number 9 movement in the box, the pass, just decision making, quality strikers, quality players. That decision making is usually top notch, 95% or 95% of the time, and that's what Cavani. So he gets my kudos. My donkey of the week actually goes to the fact, we stay with the Arsenal game, but it goes more to the fact that the head collision injury concussion protocol for FA Premier League needs to be changed. The fact that they let David Luiz back on the field, his head was bleeding and he played 45 minutes. Like that is dangerous. This guy could,
God forbid, scenario,
could have some bleed in the head, and he played 45 minutes and they subbed him. You could see that he wasn't fully aware in his defending in some cases. For me, the FA Premier League needs to change the concussion protocol. It does not make any sense.
Yeah, that was poor. That was poor.
Yeah, they should change that.
I didn't know that.
There should
be an
extra substitute. There should be an extra substitute for concussion protocol, I think, separately. Even though a team has made 3 changes, there's concussion, that level of head clash, sub the person out. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for coming. Coach Stephen, Coach Idris. The game was actually a ball fest, but it's okay. If you're watching this, anybody that's watching this, just make sure after this, get your popcorn. I'm going to go and watch AFTV and chill. Arsenal Fan TV and chill with my popcorn. it's always lovely. They give me content week in, week out, so that I keep my banter trolls coming. Like, share, subscribe. All our social channels is at the end of the pod. Thank you guys for coming on.